Well, here we are again. Welcome, YouTubers. And in response to one comment on my first episode of Doctor Who The Adventure Games, I've decided to go on and play it. And it won't be blind, of course. As you can see, I have another character up here at the top that I've created. And I did go on and play through the game, but I kept this original save in case I decided to go on and play it through. I've decided that it's interesting, even though it won't be blind, because there are a lot of collectibles, there are a lot of nostalgia value to it. As the reviewers have said, and as I've discovered myself, each of these adventure games, and there are 4 in this package, is like an extended episode of the series. One commenter said that he'd never seen a full episode of the series. And so if you like the series, you'll like the game, I think. And if you like the game, you should certainly check out the series. Now bear in mind, this gentleman here is the 11th Doctor, and this series has been running for over 40 years now. And in fact, it's the longest running continuous sci-fi series in the world. And this is the 11th actor to play the Doctor. Some people like him, some people don't like him. And the voices, as I said, are by the actors in the current series who play the Doctor and his assistant, Miss Amy Pond. So, we'll see. There are references to other canon, if you will, of Doctor Who, which will be only familiar to fans, but there are some that anyone can identify with, and so let's go on and start playing. When we left off, the Doctor and Miss Pond had just arrived at London, supposedly in 1963 to see the Beatles. They discovered instead that London, and apparently the entire world, had been destroyed, and there were, spoiler, spoiler, Daleks all around. So, let's see what happens here and how the Daleks have changed the world. Now, I should point out one thing. There will be a difference in the graphics. I discovered that my 1600 by 900 graphics worked just fine until I got to the final critical episode of this game, in which it was literally a room full of Daleks all firing their lasers all at once, a lot of little bursts of light going across the screen all at once, and my character had to maneuver through them very precisely to avoid getting killed. And he had a time limit to do it. And the problem was that my controls got so blodgy and so impossible, I couldn't get the character to go where I wanted him to go. He was always running the opposite direction. And it was so laggy that I couldn't even tell where I was running until it was too late. So on that basis, I cut it down to 1280 by 720, which should preserve the 16 by 9 ratio. And HD as well. And also I cut the graphics quality down to medium, but it still looks pretty damn good, I'll say, for such a cheap game. For $12.95 for all 4 games, they're very cheap. And I can tell you that there are 4 episodes in all in this package. The first is just over 2 hours long, and so are the third and the fourth. And the first, the second, and the fourth are just over 2 hours long. The third one is a bit shorter and a bit more limited in that it involves only exploring around in the TARDIS itself. You don't get to go out into a world anywhere. But it's still kind of interesting because it's just chock full of lore about the TARDIS and the Doctor. So, and you get to actually launch the TARDIS yourself. You get to learn the proper launch sequence when you see the Doctor running around moving all the levers and switches and so forth. You get to do it yourself. In fact, you get a time limit to learn to do it, which is kind of interesting. So, let's go on. We've got about 10 minutes left here, so let's go back and start and pick up where we left off. And we will continue the game since all the cutscenes and so forth are in the previous episode, and there they go into the TARDIS again. It's going to be a rather long cut screen, so I'll pause the video until it loads. And here we are back again. Our new objective is to find the survivor, destroy the wooden barricade, and enter the underground. But that's going to be a little complicated by the fact that there are Daleks all around, as you can see. Naturally, that's where we need to go. Now, this is one of those things that when you're close to something, you can examine it. And let's examine the TARDIS. There's no time to waste. We have to find that woman, okay? So, there's no point in going back to the TARDIS. In the meantime, let's talk to Jane.
That woman escaped down a manhole. We need to find her.
Okay, now Jane often has comments, and sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're just inane. Sometimes she actually does make a suggestion or two. So let's go over here, and there's a collectible I want to show you. There are a lot of collectibles in this game. If I can find it. There it is. One of them anyway. And Smilers are androids mounted in booths all across the spacefaring version of Britain that left Earth in the 29th century. Their heads can rotate to show three faces: happy, warning, or very dangerous indeed. And you can review all of your cards, and they are very collectible. Also, facts. Notice this bus stop sign here. If I click on the fact thing, it'll tell me all about the red double-decker buses. All the maps are littered with these facts, and I don't think in this play I'm going to be clicking on any of them because they aren't really relevant to the story. Now let's examine this barricade here. We need to find a way to break through that barricade. Okay, I have a feeling that car there has got something to do with it, so let's go on. We need to get over that way, but there are the Daleks.
Perhaps we can smash the barrier and get to the underground.
Yes, perhaps we can. But we've got to get over that way first, so let's do this thing.
Stop! Look out for that Dalek. Maybe we can avoid it if we're careful.
Now here's the thing about the sneak mechanism, and you should not understand it because a lot of the game is spent sneaking. The Doctor doesn't have an arsenal of weapons, so he has to do a lot of sneaking. Notice these little green cones here. They represent the field of vision. And so the trick in sneaking past these guys is to time it so that they don't catch you in their little green cone. If they do, they'll shoot you dead. And you also have to watch out for her because she can be killed as well. Here's another collectible on the 6th Doctor, second Doctor to be put on trial by the Time Lords, the only one who managed to fix the chameleon circuit. Alright, I'm going to be collecting all the collectibles, mainly for nostalgia purposes. But as I said, I probably won't click on the facts. And with 5 minutes to go, let's see what we can do here. Now we can climb.
I think we're okay.
Yes, I think we are. Now we can push the car.
This looks like it could smash through that barrier. Amy, can you give me a hand?
Sure.
1, 2, 3! Well, not exactly elegant, but it did the job.
Exactly.
It's dark down there. When I said I wanted to meet the Beatles, I meant the band, not the bugs.
Or you can stay up here and meet the Daleks. But they're more heavy metal.
Alright, the platform must be up ahead. We're going to have to get through that gate to get to it. Let's talk to her.
We need to open the platform gate somehow.
Yep, see, sometimes she just states the obvious. Well, let's examine this gate. It's locked. Well, I wonder if the sonic screwdriver can do something. Frankly, I've only played this through once, so I'm not sure of all the details of all the quests, but this will illustrate how to use the sonic screwdriver. You hit your middle mouse button, up it comes, and you click on it, and if he can use it, he will. If not, he'll
Be careful
say no.
down here. You never know what you're going to find on the underground. Rats, dinosaurs, yetis. The woman we saw must be around here somewhere.
Don't move!
Ah, there you are. Hello. Calm down, we're here to help you.
How can I trust you?
Do we look like Daleks? Us humans have to stick together.
I'm the doctor, by the way.
And I'm Amy.
Sylvia,
Tell me what happened. When did the Daleks get here?
what do you mean? How can't you know? They overrun the Earth, the whole planet.
We've sort of been away.
Promise you, Sylvia, we can help you. Just tell us, please.
They came out of the sky, like they tore a hole in it. Legions of Daleks flying out of it. So many they turned the sky dark. Thousands and thousands of them, thousands! Exterminate!
Now I should ask a question. These questions don't really make a difference in the game, except they do give you a little more of the atmosphere of the story. Any other survivors?
And there are no other survivors.
Us against the Daleks. They destroyed everything. Everyone. There's just me left.
The last human being. That's what the Dalek said.
Well, it was wrong about that, wasn't it? There's you two.
How did you survive?
How did you survive?
The Daleks defeated the army straight away, but the ordinary people fought for a while. You learn fast when you have to.
You've done pretty well on your own. One-woman army.
The Daleks can't do this. They've never had the power to change time like this before.
Change time? What are you talking about? Look, I'm barely hanging on to my sanity as it is.
Listen to me, Sylvia. This was not supposed to have happened. 1963 was followed by 1964, and a whole lot more years after that. I have to stop whatever the Daleks have done to make this happen.
Look, it isn't safe to stay here. If you want to stay alive now, you have to keep on the move. Let me check ahead. These tunnels are dangerous.
What was that?
I think it just got even more dangerous. Sylvia is safe. The Daleks can't see her, but we're going to have to be very careful if we're going to get to her.
Okay, now the game saves at critical points, so all we do is just quit and come back, and we'll be back at the very same point. Old Park Key Wester, signing off. Till next time.